In the sacred forest of Naimishranya, where great sages had gathered for holy spiritual practices, the peaceful dawn witnessed another day of devotion, austerity, and the search for eternal truth. At the center of the great assembly sat the revered sage Shaunaka, surrounded by many learned sages. United by devotion, they desired to understand the deepest mysteries of the supreme reality. At that time, the wise Suta arrived among the assembled sages. Having heard the sacred traditions from his revered teachers, he was welcomed with great respect by all. The sages rose and offered their humble salutations to Suta. They honored him as a knower of the Puranas and sacred wisdom, worthy of revealing the profound truths they sought. After receiving their reverence, Suta took his honored seat. The great sages gathered around him in silence, their minds calm and their hearts eager to hear the sacred narration. With folded hands, sage Shaunaka addressed Suta respectfully. He wished to know the origin of all existence and the divine mystery hidden behind the creation of this vast universe. The sages asked, "How did this universe come into being? From whom did creation arise? Who sustains all beings, and by whose power does this boundless universe continue to exist?" They prayed for the knowledge that destroys ignorance, the knowledge of the eternal Supreme Being, the source beyond whom there is no higher truth. Hearing their profound questions, Suta became deeply contemplative. Remembering the sacred wisdom received through the ancient tradition, he prepared to reveal the divine account. First, with a heart filled with devotion, Suta remembered the Supreme Lord Shiva, the eternal, beginningless reality, from whom divine knowledge and the mystery of creation are ultimately revealed. The entire assembly became silent. The sages fixed their minds upon Suta, waiting with devotion for the sacred account of creation to begin. Suta offered his reverence to Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord, and remembered the divine lineage of teachers through whom the sacred knowledge had been preserved and transmitted. Suta began to speak of the eternal supreme reality, Lord Shiva, who is beyond beginning and end, beyond the limits of time, and the ultimate source of all that exists. Before the manifestation of the worlds, before the creation of the elements and living beings, the visible universe had not yet appeared in its manifested form. Beyond all names and forms existed the eternal divine reality, self-existent, all-pervading, and full of supreme consciousness. From that infinite source, the mystery of creation would unfold. The sages listened with deep wonder. Every word of Suta drew their minds away from worldly thought and toward the profound truth of the Supreme Lord. The sacred wisdom preserved in the ancient tradition was now being revealed once again. Through this divine narration, the sages would learn the mystery of creation and the glory of Lord Shiva. As the sacred discourse continued, the atmosphere of the hermitage seemed filled with divine peace. The sages remained absorbed, blessed by the holy remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Suta then began the great divine narrative in earnest, preparing to reveal how, through the supreme will and power of the eternal Lord, the process of cosmic creation unfolded. Thus began the sacred account of creation, the divine mystery of how the unmanifest universe came forth, how the cosmic order arose, and how the Supreme Lord's eternal power pervades all existence. Before the beginning of creation, there was no visible universe. There were no worlds, no heavens, no earth, and no living beings. Time itself had not yet begun its course. The great elements had not yet manifested. There was no earth, no water, no fire, no air, and no material creation. Nothing of the known universe had yet come into existence. There was neither birth nor death, neither day nor night. No creature existed, and no cycle of life had begun. The supreme reality alone existed beyond all worldly distinctions. That eternal reality was unmanifest and beyond the reach of ordinary perception. Without beginning, without end, and beyond all material forms, the Supreme existed in its own infinite glory. All existence rested within that eternal supreme consciousness. Though the universe had not yet appeared, the limitless power from which all creation would arise existed eternally. There was profound stillness everywhere. No sound disturbed the infinite silence. Beyond time and beyond change, the eternal Supreme remained alone in perfect and absolute peace. Then, by the inscrutable will of the Supreme, the power of manifestation began to stir. the stillness of the unmanifest state prepared to reveal the mystery of creation. The divine radiance became ever more glorious. The infinite power hidden within the Supreme began to shine forth, though the worlds and beings were still yet to be manifested. At that time, there was only the eternal Supreme Reality. Nothing existed apart from Him. All that would later appear in the form of the universe remained unmanifest within His infinite power. Then came the moment when the mystery of creation was destined to unfold. From the eternal and formless Supreme Reality, the divine manifestation was about to reveal itself. From that infinite and eternal divine reality manifested the Supreme Lord Sadashiv. He appeared in His transcendent divine form, resplendent with infinite glory, the eternal source and refuge of all existence. Though He revealed Himself in a divine form for the sake of manifestation, Sadashiv remained beyond all forms. He was eternal, unborn, imperishable, and beyond the limitations of the material universe. From Sadashiv proceeds the power through which creation is brought forth. He is the ultimate source from whom all beings, worlds, and the entire cosmic order ultimately arise. The Supreme Lord is full of boundless compassion. Though beyond the universe and untouched by its limitations, He graciously reveals Himself for the welfare and liberation of all beings. Sadashiv, the Eternal Lord, remains ever established in His own supreme nature, perfectly tranquil and complete within Himself. He is the Supreme Yogi, untouched by the changes of creation. Then the eternal divine power of the Supreme manifested as Shakti. Inseparable from Shiva, she is His eternal energy, through whom the power of manifestation and creation becomes active. Shiva and Shakti are eternally united. Shiva is the Supreme Consciousness, and Shakti is His divine power. They are not truly separate, just as fire and its power to burn cannot be separated. By the divine will of Shiva, together with his eternal Shakti, the great process of creation was prepared to begin. The infinite power that had remained unmanifest was now ready to reveal the universe. The vast emptiness stood on the threshold of creation. Through the divine power of Shiva and Shakti, the hidden potential of countless worlds and beings awaited manifestation. Thus, the eternal Supreme Shiva, united with his divine Shakti, stood as the ultimate source of all that would come into being. From their divine power, the great mystery of creation was now ready to unfold. Before all worlds, before all beings, and before the beginning of time, the Supreme Shiva alone existed. And from his eternal will and divine power, the vast universe was destined to arise. At the end of the cosmic cycle, the manifested universe gradually approaches dissolution. The worlds, celestial bodies, and all created forms move toward their destined end, and creation slowly returns to silence. Then the terrible heat of the great dissolution arises, and the seven suns blaze forth with unbearable radiance. Their scorching power dries up the waters of the earth and prepares the universe for the great dissolution. Under the overwhelming heat, the oceans, rivers, and all remaining waters gradually disappear. The earth becomes dry and desolate as the great cosmic transformation continues. Thereafter, the terrible fire of dissolution spreads throughout the worlds. Its immense flames consume the manifested creation, and the heavens themselves glow with the power of Mahapralaya. Mighty cosmic winds then arise and sweep through all directions with irresistible force. The worlds tremble as the remaining forms of creation are shaken by the power of dissolution. After the great fire, immense clouds gather and a tremendous celestial deluge begins. Torrential waters descend and extinguish the fire, gradually covering the worlds beneath the waters of dissolution. The worlds are gradually submerged, and all realms of manifested existence return to the boundless cosmic waters. As creation disappears, profound stillness spreads throughout the universe. The gross elements now return to their respective causes, each merging into the subtler principle from which it arose. Thus the entire material creation gradually withdraws from manifestation. The subtle principles of creation finally return into primordial Prakriti, the unmanifest source. All names, forms, and distinctions disappear as the manifested universe withdraws completely. Nothing of the manifested universe remains, and an infinite stillness fills all existence. Beyond creation and its dissolution, the cosmic waters rest in profound and timeless silence. When all worlds and forms have disappeared, only the supreme reality remains. Beyond the silence of Mahapralaya, Lord Shiva abides eternally, untouched by the dissolution of creation. There are no stars, planets or worlds remaining, yet Mahadev exists in his eternal glory. His divine presence alone pervades the infinite emptiness beyond all manifested existence. Time and all its cycles belong to the manifested universe and disappear with creation. Lord Shiva alone remains beyond time, eternal and unchanged through every cycle of creation and dissolution. Beyond every form and limitation is the supreme, unmanifest reality. Shiva is the eternal source beyond all creation, whose divine nature cannot be confined within the limits of the manifested universe. From the eternal supreme arises the primordial divine vibration, the sacred Om. It is the subtle, eternal principle associated with the beginning and the source of all manifestation. Though the universe has dissolved, the potential for future creation remains unmanifest within the Supreme. Like a dormant seed, the next cycle of creation rests silently, awaiting the destined time. The divine power of Yogmaya also remains unmanifest within the Supreme. All creative energy rests in its subtle state until the divine will brings forth the next cycle of creation. Lord Shiva remains the eternal witness, serene and complete beyond all change. From him, creation arises in its time, and into him the universe ultimately returns. Within the infinite silence, the potential of a new creation remains hidden and unmanifest. The next cosmic cycle has not yet begun, but all future existence rests within the supreme reality. After the complete dissolution of all creation, Shiva alone remains, eternal and infinite. Beyond time, space, creation and destruction, Mahadev is the everlasting supreme reality.